Next, what I'd like to do is to go through with you how to prepare a graph. So here we have an experiment that was done. In order to determine the effect of a certain antibiotic on a bacterium, an experiment was performed. The antibiotic was added to a culture of bacteria. Every couple of days, a sample of the culture was taken and the number of bacteria present was counted. The results are shown below. So first question I need to figure out is which data is the independent variable and which data is the dependent variable. If I look at my problem here, you'll see that the number of bacteria present was counted. That was the measurement that was made during the experiment. Therefore, number of bacteria present is going to be my dependent variable. That is what was measured in my experiment. Therefore, the days incubated with the antibiotic is going to be my independent variable. So, dependent variable goes on the y-axis, independent variable goes along the x-axis. So we'll put down time in days, and along the y-axis is going to be number of bacteria. I look and I see that the independent variable goes up to 7 days, so I will count the number of tick marks I have and try to make my scale consistent and spread out such that I have the largest possible graph. So I will do every other line, make that 1 day. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Along the y-axis, I have to go up to 1,000, so I will make each tick mark 100. 200, 300. Because I am making measurements and this data is continuous, it's going to be a line graph. So I'll begin on day 0. I have 1,000 bacteria. So I'll go to day 0 and go up to 1,000, make a dot. On day 1, it's 500. On day 3, it is 50. So 50 would be between 0 and 100. On day 5 is 200. And on day 7, we're back up to 1,000. I then connect my dots with a line. Last thing that this graph needs is a title, so an appropriate title would be the number of bacteria present after being exposed to an antibiotic. This is how you properly prepare a graph. Now that I have this graph, I can begin to ask questions about the data and the experiment performed. So one thing I can ask is, can I make inferences about the data here? So for example, can I figure out from the data presented here how many bacteria are present on day 2? Looking at my table here, I can't answer that question, but looking at my graph here, I can. I can go up to day 2 and find the point and then read where it corresponds on the y-axis. So it looks like it would be approximately 225 cells present on day 2.